In this video, I'm going to teach you how to optimize your Amazon PPC within the Campaign Manager. For this, you do need to have your campaigns up and running for at least a day to generate some data for you to analyze. However, the longer you can leave that, the more data, sales and clicks you will have in there to look at. I would recommend waiting perhaps a week at least, and then obviously over time you can continue to look over almost a daily basis to further hyper optimize your campaigns. Now I'm going to click on the first one here, which is for the neoprene weightlifting belt we've looked at previously. And as you can see, this is based over the last 7 days. I have spent £122 to generate £244 in sales with almost exactly a 50% ACOS. I know that my break-even point is at 60%, so I have made a roughly a 10% profit margin using the paid ads here. It's not great. I would like to get that well under 30%. But just know, as we've seen previously, that I do rank very well organically. So the bulk of my sales come from organic or other better performing adverts. But one of the keys to being successful on Amazon and ranking organically is actually via your paid ads. Because by advertising on relevant search terms, such as weightlifting belts, I've generated 9 orders for that, which is just under the break-even point. But what that will do is I will now start to show up organically under the search results of weightlifting belts. So it might not happen perfectly here, but if I was to type that in, weightlifting belts, this time my product's showing up slightly further down, but you can see that I'm ranking relatively well in the top 3 lines, and it's not showed up on the paid adverts this time. That is an organic result. So I'm showing up well there. A lot of people are clicking on it, and that's where I'm generating a lot of my sales. However, what we want to try and do is to drive down this ACOS and make it more profitable. And the way to do that is by analyzing the bids. So within the Campaign Manager, you get a graph here. So it will show you your sales and your ACOS for each day, and you can add different metrics around in there, and it will tell you your total sales, total spend, your ACOS, and how many impressions. An impression is how many times your products have shown up within the search results but not necessarily been clicked on. Further down you have different columns that you can look at. I'm going to select all of them so we can see what they're all about. So first thing it will show you is the keyword. We've already typed this in. Now this is a very direct campaign. It's been dialed down from previous profitable searches, which is why there's actually only 8 results in there, and that's probably an indication of why the ACOS is so high. Typically campaigns with a lot of different keywords that are picking up cheaper clicks will perform slightly better, but this is a more direct campaign. So again, it will show you your suggested bid, which can change daily depending on Amazon's algorithm, and it will show you what your bid is here. So you can always just apply the suggested bid, which will move it down to 44p, which you could argue I need to do here because the ACOS is as high as 57%. Or if you want to be more aggressive again, just start getting more clicks on that, you can move it up. You can move it up as high as you like, to perhaps £1.50. Moving over to impressions, again, this is how many times your product has shown within the search results. Not necessarily been clicked on, but all of these products are now getting an impression because I've seen them, I've searched for a product and they're showing up. You don't get charged for impressions, you only get charged for clicks, being PPC advertising. Here you do get the amount of clicks this product's had in the last 7 days is 96, which is a reasonable amount, and the click-through ratio has been at 0.77%. So that will tell you how many times this is my leather belt, how many times that's been clicked on from the search term weightlifting belt. 0.77%. I think it's good to try and get that over 1% really to show that it's relevant to the search terms. However, what that might be is that actually it's showing up in the search results, but it's all the way down here. It could be a paid advert as low as this in the search results, and it might be people just skim past like this. So it's not always the fact that they've been at the top of the search results. It may be that they're slightly further down. There's your total spend, and then your cost per click, which is one of the more important factors that you want to consider. If they start becoming very expensive, if that was something like £2, that significantly reduces the amount of clicks you can get and remain profitable. So, and it will tell you the orders, the total sales, and the average cost of sale, which we've been through previously. So what do we want to do here to make these profitable? Now, this product here, that's roughly around my break-even point, 60%, coming in at 57 currently. The average cost per click has been 92p. So I know I can spend up to perhaps 95p on clicks. If I was to get the same amount of sales, I would roughly be able to break even. Now, because I know that this helps my product rank organically very well for weightlifting belt, I'm going to go as high as 0.9%. Sorry, 90p for a bid. And that means my ACOS is going to be roughly around 57, 50%, something like that. So it's making a little bit of profit, not very much, but it is ranking my product well. I'm personally willing to spend that money to ensure that my organic rank maintains. If I wanted to make this more profitable, which is obviously the goal of this, I'm going to reduce that to something like 50p. So probably going to get roughly half the amount of searches. However, in turn, that is going to reduce the ACOS down because you're paying less for each of those clicks. So instead of getting 92 clicks, perhaps I might only get 40 clicks. And whilst I only pick up perhaps 4 or 5 sales, that will in turn bring my ACOS down because I've spent less to generate the same sales. Let's have a look at one product that is doing quite well. And I've already looked at these. I look at my ads almost on a daily basis to make sure they're doing as well as they can do, which I would recommend you would do the same. Although you can almost set and forget, as long as you've got it set up profitably, I could leave this and it would perform very well. This product here, I've picked up only 3 sales, so not as many, but it's at 24% average cost of sale. So knowing that my break-even point is 60%, I'm making perhaps 35% on that product, which is, it is doing quite well. Weight gym belt. So weight gym belt is not a natural sentence for someone to search. However, people are typing that in, and it's had 615 impressions. So 2% click-through ratio. So it shows that this is particularly relevant for those search terms. The average cost per click is similar at 94p, but because I'm getting is more relevant, higher click-through ratio, more people in turn are actually buying that. Average cost is just 24%. So what I've done, instead of being 94p, I had raised it to £1.40. Now I'm going to be quite aggressive with that. Now I'm going to move it up to £2 to ensure I'm capturing as many of those sales as possible. What that will mean is I will actually be at the top of all the search results instead of further down. These sponsored ads, perhaps sometimes you might be coming in there, and typically people are just going to scan cut past those, so you're picking up an impression but no one's really clicking on it. So I want to make sure for the term weight gym belt I'm showing up as much as possible. I've raised that bid. Now perhaps my ACOS might go up, because I am paying more for each click potentially. However, I was already at £1.40 and only spending 94p on a click, so that suggests there's not as much competition on that as there could be. So it may just mean that the cost per click stays the same, but I actually get more impressions, in turn more clicks, and hopefully more sales. So that's really what you want to do to optimize a keyword focused campaign, is by playing around with bids. If it's a poor performing keyword or search term, you want to reduce that, or potentially, as I have done with these, I've actually taken those off. If we were to go to lifetime results of those, I'll have a look. So that one in particular has had 11 clicks and it didn't pick up any sales. So neoprene belt, that's not particularly relevant. It might be that that's not even a gym accessory that they're buying for, so I've just turned that off. Then belt for deadlifts, which is obviously a gym exercise. That I did pick up a sale, but it's at 200% ACOS, which is obviously terrible. So I've just turned that off. What I could do is turn that back on, but lower it to something like 10p. 10p. and then it might pick up the odd sale. Maybe it might pick up in the same amount of time, 10 clicks, and you might pick up a quick sale out of that, and it would become profitable. So it's just something to bear in mind. Now, what you will note here is that my ACOS for a lifetime has been 38%, which is significantly lower than the last 7 days, which was over 10% higher. So this campaign is actually doing better than the last 7 days suggested, and one of the reasons that could be is yesterday's and today's results are included in this. Not all of the sales might have been attributed to it, and chances are I've probably picked up a few more sales from that campaign than what is showing in the last 7 days. You want to try and use as much data as possible. However, I like to analyse it on a 7-day basis because that's particularly relevant. You can consider the fact that this might not have picked up any sales recently. If I go to lifetime, the same one it's picked up one sale at a 25% ACOS. So whilst it's not performed particularly well for the last 7 days, it is profitable over a long period of time. And actually, this actual ad has not been running for that long. So what you want to do is go through all of your campaigns, optimize them on a daily basis, or make sure they're set up, and then you can turn them off and just go back perhaps every week or so to further optimize.